What's up, Bengals Army? You got me, Dusty, boy Tony. We're back at it. Man, I feel like it's been a hot minute. I haven't jumped on here for a few weeks. Schedule's been crazy. I know you and Chris did a show the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Got the bye week out of the way, which came at a very well needed time for us. I think it's going to do us well. How you feeling, bro? You just got some din up in you.
No,
Looking
man, it's
tired.
been a busy
I'm
week.
looking tired.
I know. I'm feeling it's like, man, you turn another year older, you get in your 30s, and now it's like, man, 8:30 rolls around, I'm ready for bed. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah. Just wait till you get my age, bud.
No, but I mean, the bye week, man. To your point, like it came at the perfect time. Good news today. We heard that Joe Burrow's 100%, feeling 100%. So I think that's going to pay dividends to us now. I also heard rumor on the street that they're running some under center now, opening that offense back up. So I think good things to come. Tough stretch ahead. I mean, you know it more than anyone else. I mean, this stretch is tough. So we're going to see what they're made of and see if they really want it.
Yeah. I think if they're going to lose one, I'd prefer it be San Francisco. Get that loss out of the way. But heck, I think the boys can come out. I think they can get the win this week. They know how important it is. We can go. We know this team can go on nice little runs. So I'm not worried about caring about losses. Let's get these wins. Let's stack them up. This is a real meaningful 4 weeks ahead of us. But everyone says one game at a time. Let's get this one out of the way. Brock Purdy. I seen on Twitter today that he was practicing, so he was warming up. He was actually throwing some balls around. So I don't know. Historically, I don't think the Bengals have done great against backup quarterbacks, regardless if they've seen them before. We've seen what Mike White's done against them. What's that guy's name? Casey Keenum. Like there's been multiple different quarterbacks that have kind of had their way with us that are backups. And me personally, I'd rather us go our best versus your best. I don't want to hear excuses if we win. I really don't like hearing excuses if we lose. It's a long season, so you can have a lot of excuses between the refs and all sorts of different things. But I want my best versus your best. How you feel?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, he's still in concussion protocol, so that's going to kind of challenge some things. I will remind everyone this, though, that Zach Taylor's first ever win was against Sam Darnold. That's the backup quarterback for the Niners right now. So if he suits up, man, history tells us that Zach Taylor lines up well against Sam Darnold. Irregardless of the injuries on the offense, right? I know we're not going to see Deebo Samuel this week. Whether or not we see Brock Purdy, we're still going to see a full-strength 49ers defense. I'm interested more in how the Bengals offense plays against that defense versus how the defense plays against a limited Niners offense, right? To your point, like, I want to see our best versus their best. I don't want to see there be any excuses. Personally, I think this is a must-win for Cincinnati. They're 3-3 right now. The Division I, all three divisional teams won last week, and we were on that bye week. They didn't pay them any favors, right? Some people might think that they can lose this game and go home to Buffalo and get out a win and stay at 500. I don't really see it that way. We're starting to get into the meat of the season where they've got to really stack these wins versus quality teams and get a good picture of who this team is. Because, I mean, the jury's still out, right? We're getting production out of guys. I mean, I see really great things out of guys from Jordan Battle, DJ Turner, Miles Murphy. We're getting great production out of Trey. And then on the offensive side, we're starting to see Joe move back around again, start to get that swagger back. But at the end of the day, right, this Cincinnati team's got a better roster than they did last year as we see it, right? More talented roster. We got to see it come together, them stack these wins, get above 500, and get back in the race for the AFC North. Because right now they're out of it, right? I mean, they're completely out of it. They need a win. So,
yeah, I agree with you. I think the team plays as good as Joe Burrow plays. So which is obvious, he's a top 2, top 3. If you really want to not be super biased, top 5 quarterback in the league. I don't know 5 quarterbacks you'd put ahead of him, but he's a top tier quarterback. When he's playing on, the team's playing on. He makes the offensive line. He can make them look great. He improvises. He moves around the pocket. Them subtle movements that we didn't see the first few weeks. It really limited the offense a lot, and especially when you run the ball 15 times a game. You got the dude stepping back on a hurt calf where he's not 100% throwing it 51, 52 times. That's a lot on him, and especially when he's not, fully himself. I think the team rallies around Joe, and I think they really do appreciate it. There's been statements made that it shows. I forget who it was, but they said, it really puts a light on his leadership that he's going to go out there, he's going to battle. He's hurt, he's not 100%, but he'll be out there and he's going to do his best. So I think the team's behind him. I think they've always been behind him. The defense is really starting to pick up. Cam Taylor-Britt last week, a couple really good interceptions. I think the defense is coming to life. You have Trey, who's could have 8 sacks now, 8.5 sacks.
He's a 7.5 right now, and
so he could have had 9.5 if he's at 7.
I mean he could get up there. Yeah, he's top 5 in the league right now in sacks, but I think if history holds true, right, when we see Cincinnati come out and score first, we know it's going to be a good day. If they come out and drag ass first couple series, maybe score 3 points, but they don't score first, it's going to be an interesting game. I just think, statistically speaking, what we've seen from them the last 3 years, when they score first, it's going to be a good day. So coming out that first series, whoever gets the ball first and scores, that's probably going to be the team that's going to lead the day.
So that's what I want to ask you. Are you a fan of us getting ball first, or would you rather us defer?
Yeah, I've always been a defer. I've always been a defer guy. The reason for that is you try to use your defense to control it, right? Get a 3 and out. Even if they score, right, you want to limit it and kind of time it where you get that last possession to end the half, and then you get the possession to get right out of the half, right? So you can swing it up to 14 points at the end of the half versus the beginning of the half. I've just seen more success from teams that defer that ball versus the teams that go aggressive and take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think last year we really started getting our mojo together when we received the ball. We were attacking. We wanted to score. That's a scripted game plan right there. But when we did do that, that's when we saw the team come alive. So this week against this defense, it's a good defense. They got a solid front, so it that adds to it. But I really like the aggressiveness. And if we come out and we score, like you said, we get the ball, we score, we feel real good about it. We saw 2 weeks ago, first 2 drives put points on the board, and then we kind of died off. If we wasn't aggressive in these first couple drives, teams adjust to you. Who knows how it would have played out. A win's a win in the NFL. Like Zach said, it sounds corny. It's not pretty. Brian Callahan was on Locked On Bengals, and he was talking about how aggravated he was, and he was not satisfied, which I like that. He said, there's a time and place for being irritated. And these are grown men. Yelling at grown men is a little different than high school and college. But, definitely, like Brian said, time, place, you need to let these guys know when they're not executing. And even coaches, he brought up the coaching staff and different things. People have to be held accountable. And I said that week too, when Zach had a press conference, and it was the coaches and the team need to be held accountable for their assignments in the very vanilla and bland play calling. The coaches have to be held accountable, and us as fans should not accept anything less. Yes, we love our team. We love Joe. We love the coaching staff. Zach Taylor, I think, is a great head coach. Play calling can get vanilla at times, but there's always an accountability with any job and any leadership role. This week, I really don't think I care if we defer or if we get the ball, as long as we do what we're supposed to do, just like Brian Callahan said. Just do your job, get a defense, get a 3 and out, or the defense, our defense doesn't really get 3 and outs a whole lot. We're kind of don't break, bend, don't break, don't even let them get 3 points on the board, make them punt, let Joe get the ball. Let's get the ball in the second half, put points on the board. If we get the ball, let's put points. Like if we get on the other side of the 50 with Evan McPherson and Money Mac, we know there's a real good chance there's 3 points right there. So let's move the ball in. I'll be pretty happy.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. The only thing I don't like, right, is that bend don't break mentality is good until they get into plus territory and they're punting and pinning us back on the 10 with that front seven, right? That front seven for 49ers with what they've got going on. I mean, you can't deny like Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, like that's a nasty front seven, and they run some really, really effective blitzes. The thing I'm interested though, right? If you remember 2 years ago, right, Charvarius Ward used to play for the KC, the Chefs, right? And that signature game with Jamar Chase, where we clinched the AFC North, was against Charvarius Ward, the Chiefs, right? I'm really interested to see the Niners secondary versus our receivers, right? I think we've got T coming back now, a little bit more strength than he had last week. We're obviously going to have Jamar back there. I'm really interested to see how our receiving core matches up with a Burrow now that can scramble versus their secondary. If this line holds up for Cincinnati, I like our chances. And last year, right, even last year against the Niners, it was close, right? I mean, it was a real close game, came down to the end. I want to see more consistency out of this offense. That's the biggest thing. I want to see more consistency. We saw them come out last week versus Seattle, score a quick 14 points, and then they died off for about 3 quarters. I mean, they really did. I need to see more consistency out of the offense to really see, like, okay, like this is a team that can really get it done. The defense is starting to pick up steam. I see they're giving more playing time to guys like Jordan Battle. I'm seeing 2 guys, DJ Turner and Mike Hilton, in the top 5 in terms of efficiency with corners in the entire league this year, right? So we're getting the production out of the defense despite having those dudes that a lot of people have. I need to see more consistency out of the offense to really believe this team's gonna do something.
Yeah, I agree with you. And what I would really like, what would turn this team around is getting more than 18 rushes a game. If we can get 4 to 5 yards a carry average, which that's tough, but 3.2, man, that's not quite cutting it. If we can rush the ball just a little better, be a little more unpredictable, not be running out of shotgun, not doing them zone rushing plays, and just
they're not gonna versus this front seven. They're not gonna run out of the shotgun. They can't. They won't have time to run out of the shotgun. They're gonna have to run under center. I think that's why you saw Joe under center in practice this week. Like they're not gonna do that. Kind of getting off the cuff here. I've heard some light rumors that they're looking into free agency. Hurst and Pirine, man, I'd love to bring them back in the building, but we'll kind of see where that happens. But to your point, like on the rushing side, yeah, we need 3.5, 4 yards a carry. Every single carry, you need 3.5, 4 yards. Mixon can be spotty sometimes. When he's on, man. So we'll kind of see how that plays out in this game. I think if they're going to be successful running the ball, it's going to be more than just Mixon, right? It's going to be out of the shotgun. It's going to be under center. They're going to mix it up, but they need to run the screen too, right? So whether that's with Travion Williams or somebody else needs to step up besides Mixon, that way they can run the ball effectively. That'll open up that pass game.
Yeah. And I feel like that's where we're missing a guy like Hayden Hurst, who was that little outlet to Joe where he might catch a 4-yard pass, but he's getting 8-10 yards on that 4-yard pass. Hayden, he had maybe 400 yards last year. I don't know his exact numbers.
But it's when it counted, man. It's when it counted. Look back at Buffalo. He caught some balls, man, and one of them was a touchdown. Like that was an outlet for Joe. I said it like 3 weeks ago on the podcast. Joe's outlet is the tight end. If he doesn't have the tight end, it limits his ability to throw. I'm telling you all day long, when they start to put an emphasis on the tight end, you're going to really start to see Joe flourish.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Joe, and that's what's happened with CJ Uzama. Like CJ had a nice seam route, and everybody remembers that seam route that he ran.
Yep.
And Joe placed the ball perfectly, probably a 25-yard pass and catch. Like if you have a tight end that can, you at least have to guard. You have to put some sort of respect. We have nothing right now. No major tight end threat. And with Joe, you don't have to have a crazy threat, but just have that outlet, just have that safety net. And dude, I would absolutely love to have Hayden Hurst back. He brings the energy. He's lighting people up. And when he does make a play, like he's making a play. Like he's people feel it. You know, you might not think an 8-yard gain means much, but when you're tackling this man and you're thinking twice, like that opens things up. They're human. These guys ain't robots out there where you're playing a computer game, sitting there at the video game playing and, oh, made a tackle. Okay. Like, no, you feel that. You might not feel it immediately, but in the next quarter, you're feeling that tackle. And those are some big boys you're hitting. That's not a 120-pound dude that's 6 foot or 100. What's Jamar, like maybe 110 or 210? Like,
yeah, he's like 2 something. No, I mean, like,
difference. There's just a difference in the impact of those hits.
Yeah, no, it is a big difference. I'll speak this from my personal opinion. Like, I don't know, Twitter rumors aside, I'm gonna venture to guess that guys like Hurst and Pirine would love to be back in Cincinnati right now, because the whole reason Hurst went to Carolina was for the money. And now there's rumors on the street that he would love to come back to Cincinnati with a reworked deal. Pirine went to Denver on the precipice that he was going to get a really big share of their offense. He's barely getting any, barely getting any, less than he did in Cincinnati on a losing squad. I would venture to guess, in my personal opinion, that if Cincinnati reached out to those guys and said, "Hey, here's the deal we offered you last time. We're offering it again. What do you got?" They would take it and they would run with it. I think if you bring back a couple of those guys that brought success to the building last year, you're going to really see this team flourish, because without that tight end threat, to your point, there's just nothing there. And I would like to believe that Irv Smith is that guy. At the beginning of the season, we talked and said, "Hey, I think this guy can be another dude. He's got the tools, the build. I mean, the build of him, he's the picture perfect tight end build, but we're just not seeing it translate to the field." And obviously Mitchell Wilcox and Cam Sample or Drew Sample, like, they're okay.
Well, Tanner Hudson, I think Tanner Hudson's,
I mean, even Tanner Hudson's decent, but they all kind of take one piece and add to it. You can't have all four of them on the field at one time. Each one of them kind of brings a different element to the game. I'd like to see more of a Hayden Hurst in there, a pass-catching tight end that we know is a good outlet and can catch that ball on the sideline. All the throws that Irv Smith is dropping right now, Hayden Hurst was catching, and those add up, like, straight up. They add up.
Yeah, they 100% do. So we'll get off kind of the rant of kind of things we're disappointed with. Who are you happy with? Because I think Jonah Williams, I think he found himself a home at right tackle. I think he's fit in well. I think he's playing good. We have Orlando Brown. He's roughing it out. He's going to be playing. So our tackles seem pretty solid right now. Alex Kappa playing good. Ted Karras. We have Cordell Volson, who's he's slightly struggling. Dax Hill. We was worried about him, kind of concerned how that void with Jesse Bates leaving. In Dax Hill's come in. You mentioned DJ Turner, Juan Drago. Yep. Like we have some bright pieces. Who are you really happy about right now? I guess just who surprised you and played better than what you think?
Yeah, no, great question. I'd say first and foremost, Jonah, to your point, I think that offseason work really helped him out. I was skeptical on whether or not he was going to pan out at right tackle or whether it was going to be a disaster. I still think depth is a big issue on that line, but I like what I'm seeing out of him. I'll call out a couple guys on the defense. So first and foremost is going to be Trey Hendrickson. Coming out of last season, that production wasn't quite there, and when they reworked his deal and added an extension to him, I was like, I don't know if that's the right deal. I'm not sure if that's the smartest way to spend money right now. He's totally proven me wrong. Trey is back 100% to 2021 Trey that we saw the Super Bowl year. I'm really happy what I'm seeing out of him. Number 2, Jordan Battle. When they're giving that dude playing time, man, he's a ball hawk. He gets after it. Outside of CTB, man, he is a ball hawk. He gets to the ball. All of the things we saw on tape from him coming out of Alabama, where he was able just to track the field and get to the football and make a tackle, I'm seeing those things start to translate to the NFL. I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of him. If we can, and you're starting to see this picture kind of build, right? You're starting to see the vision of CTB and DJ Turner and Dax Hill and Jordan Battle, all those guys that are replacing Bates, Bell, probably Awuzie, right? And certainly, the guys of the past, these new rookies are coming in and they're really shaping what we thought they would be. I'm really pleased to see that out of that group right now. What about you, man?
I 100% agree with you. So what I think is very interesting is obviously Lou was a defensive backs coach. So I think it's super cool that you can just see the development, in these first couple of years. Even Eli Apple kind of rejuvenated his career when he was here in Cincinnati.
Well, he's dropped off like a cliff in Miami apparently, but go on.
Yeah, in which I would have loved to bring him back. Honestly, you can never have too many corners, too many edge rushers. That right there, you can't have enough of. So to me, load it up, baby. Like, let's have as many as we can. Really, somebody I was really high on and I thought was going to play a little. He's played a decent bit, but maybe a little more. Was Zach Carter. Just his efficiency, I thought was going to be a little better. I'm not saying anything crazy, but the hype around him was there. And then Cordell Wilson, I thought he was going to step up, take it up a notch. So those two guys, I would like in this middle part of the season, or what are we, 2/3, or we're
game 7, so we're
slightly under halfway through the season. So I would like to see these guys start really making a push. In Trey Hendrickson, dog. Lou said, might have been on Locked On again. I'm referencing them a lot, but they did a show and they had Lou and Brian on there. And Lou said he trusts these guys. His 4 starters, he trusts. They've been through the battles. He trusts them. So I understand having them, but that through the season, that's a lot of wear and tear. Like, we don't want all these snaps. So we want these younger dudes to kind of step up in the middle of the season, be able to pull little snaps away so these guys are healthy and fresh towards the end of the year. So Zach Carter is somebody I'd really like to see start taking it up a notch. My guy, Miles Murphy, who was the dude in the draft, I was like, if this guy falls, this is who I want the Bengals to take. And we did not. So I kind of got my name on it, and I really think he has the potential, but he's playing against a really good. He's Joseph Osai. We haven't even talked about Joseph Osai really. A lot of people, myself included, really thought Joseph Osai was going to take another step. So I would like to start seeing these guys get put in here, but our games have been either so close or so far out that we're trying to either make that keep that lead or not let the other team start gaining more ground on us.
Yeah.
So that makes things a little difficult. I would like us to play more complementary football and be able to get these younger dudes in and start developing them in real time situations. So later on in the season, we can have our boys fresh. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. I think, excuse me, Yosavash. So I think Yossi, dude, I'd really like to see him get a little more opportunity. Ti. So Trent Irwin, I think when he's out there and he's playing, our weapons are there. So I just don't want to run Jamar into the ground. Like he's number one dude. He's durable, but you just don't want to see these guys get ran into the ground. I want to see us be more creative on offense. I want other people be able to make some plays in with T kind of injured and banged up. I don't want to put him in vulnerable positions where he's getting hit. He just keeps taking a beating and a beating. And he's in a contract year. Like you don't want to see T's a great dude. Everybody speaks volumes of T. You don't want to see this dude getting banged up and make his stock get lower. Now, maybe if you're a crappy Bengals fan, you really don't care about these young. They're kids. Like to us, we're 30 years old. These guys are really kids still. Like they're all 5 to 7 years younger than us. And if he doesn't stay with us next year, that it's kind of sad. We're going to hate to see him go, but you don't want to see his stock drop dramatically because it's between him and Jamar. Tyler Boyd. I think Tyler Boyd needs to step up some. Like I haven't seen much production out of TB, which is everyone loves TB. Like great player.
I'm not seeing the trio of receivers. Seeing one guy step up one game and one guy step up the other game. I know T's been banged up, man, but like I have not seen him be consistent all year. Like we used to see him coming out of last year, dude, he was touted as a true number one for any other team. And I still agree with that. Just making freakish catches. But like even the games that he's been in, man, I don't know what's going on. It probably was a little bit of Joe Burrow. It probably was a little bit of Joe Burrow, but I just haven't seen that consistency out of him. I mean, broken rib aside, I know that's a really shit injury, and like clearly he's going to be limited for a few weeks while he heals. But we need to see more consistency out of him because really good teams like the Niners or like the Bills are going to double Jamar Chase, so they're going to bracket him to where we're going to have to go to other guys like Trent Irwin if T or TB don't step up. If we see those guys step up like we know they can, then we're good to go. But Joe Burrow is going to need an outlet when these guys are doubled or bracketed. And, I don't know, to your point, when we're going to see it. I hope it's this week, but we'll kind of wait and see on that one. I'll go back to your defensive thing too, right? So you were talking about the defensive line a little bit. Zach Carter, Joseph Osai. I haven't seen consistency out of them. I'd like to see us rotate more, right? Keep these guys rotated and fresh. I think that will pay dividends because we know that Joseph Osai is a really good guy when he's healthy. I think he's hungry coming off of that AFC Championship game loss where he kind of messed up there at the end. I think guys like Zach Carter want to make more of a statement because we don't have a true guy outside of DJ Reader on the interior that's stepped up and been like, okay, we can rely on this guy on the interior. It's always been DJ Reader, Trey Hendrickson, Sam Hubbard, and everybody else as a compliment. If we get some guys that really step up and they're like, okay, I know I can do this, I think that's going to bring a little bit more consistency to what Lou Anarumo was trying to do.
Yeah. And I agree with you there, but I do think BJ Hill is I think he's a big factor in there too. I don't want to overlook
I think he honestly, man, I love BJ as a dude. I'm not going to try to talk crap about him. I've never seen like that dude in there, right? Like I've never seen a game wrecker. I've just seen a guy that can play football. Maybe I'm in the minority, but like that's just what I've seen. I've seen him make some really good plays here and there. And a super awesome dude, super great culture guy. I haven't really seen that game wrecker out of him.
Yeah, in which I don't think he's meant to be that. So I'm not gonna sit there and say he's anything super crazy. But run stuffing, there's been multiple times where he's got pressure. If you look at the AFC Championship game last year, there was multiple times I hate blaming the refs, but you could have called some holding calls on whoever it was guarding that left guard. But I just think I think BJ's got his role. I think he's there. like you said, I would love to see, which we both agree on that, Zach Carter stepping up, getting in there, doing his thing. But I think Lou he knows his guys, and they're for the most part, the defense has been so clutch, in which is not really what you would think. When you think of the Bengals, if you know nothing about the Bengals and you just know fantasy football, you're going to think the Bengals are an offensive team. Really, the defense has been super huge for us. So,
Yep.
Jesse Bates and Von Bell, the interception 2 years ago that took us to the Super Bowl. Then you had Sam Hubbard last year, the Hubbard yard dash. And before that, we knocked them. They were on like the 5 yard. If you go 2 years back, Sam Hubbard tracked down Patrick Mahomes, got him pushed way back. He fumbles the football when Sam's tackling him. Like, Sam, not always, the big flashy dude, but when big plays need made, he's made big plays.
Sure.
So the defense has carried us, and what I would love to see is start seeing a little creativeness on offense. Start seeing the offense be what we all think the offense can be and should be. And if that happens and the defense plays the way the defense plays, there's no reason that we should be in these tight games or playing from behind or playing in, 3-point, 5-point game. We should have a touchdown to 10-point leads in most games, honestly. And that's not being a homer. It's me looking at the players we have, knowing what they've done and knowing what they can do and knowing what the defense has done. You piece it all together. That's why the expectations are so high for them for this year. But
yeah, no, I agree with you. I think, man, if there was one thing I could have back this season so far, it would be the Baltimore game. Being 4-2 right now versus 3-3 is a lot bigger than people
with
think
an AFC win, AFC North win.
Yeah, I think personally that's one of those games I'd like to have back right now, because if they were 4-2 going into the Niners, I probably wouldn't feel as much pressure. The Niners are in a 2-game slide right now.
Which scares me. They're hungry.
They're hungry, but Cincinnati needs to win. So both teams are really hungry. You've got two teams that I think are in big need of a win right now. I would just like to see Cincinnati at 4-3 right now, or 4-2 at the very worst, going 4-3 versus the Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football. I just that kind of makes me not happy. So we'll see. I think they're in a good position right now. If I see consistency out of that offense, like you said, I think we're going to really see this team flourish. That defense is an opportunistic defense, right? They're not a consistent ball hawk, swarming, devour you defense like we see out of Dallas and the 49ers. But what we're seeing out of this defense is when they need to step up, they will step up. They had to do it 3 separate times versus Seattle, right? I mean, they had to win that game twice for us, right? Yeah. So that gives me hope. Once we get the offense clicking, which I think they will, then we'll start to see this team flourish. And to your point, hopefully get above 500. I mean, if we get to above 500, that's where they need to be. So
yeah. Well, what's upsetting too about the Seattle game was at the end, we just needed to get a first down, and we spent 15 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, that was play calling, man. That was some dumb play calling, by the way.
Yeah, that's super upsetting. In which I get it, because it was 2 minutes and 3 seconds or something on the clock, whatever it was. So throwing the ball on first down, I get it, because no matter what, you're going to get the 2-minute warning. So whatever, it would have been nice to pick up some yardage, but that is what I want to see. I want to see, well, we need to get a first down. Let's get a first down. We have the team, we have the talent. Let's call the right calls. Let's make the plays. Let's get a ball across the middle some. Like, we haven't. It just doesn't seem like we've got the ball across the middle.
A lot of sideline, a lot of out routes, a lot of hitch routes. That's another thing. When we get the ball over the middle, man, when we attack the middle of the defense, we seem to have a lot of success. Yeah,
and it opens so much up. Like, you get them linebackers, everything starts compacting in, and then your sidelines to T. Like, T's a 50-50 ball guy. We love T for it. But if everyone's playing sidelines, like you would think it would open the middle up at this point, but we haven't done too much across the middle.
It's the play calling. It's not the player's fault. Yeah.
Yeah. And which I'm not saying it's the player's fault. I'm just saying you would think we would start doing that and developing that in there. So I'm really interested after this bye week. Let's see how we come out and play. I feel like we've played good under Zach Taylor coming out the bye, which is a little different than Marvin Lewis. It seemed like after the bye, we started having real lazy stretches. So this would be a true test, and let's stack some wins. I'm excited for it. I really am. I think this could be like how the Saints game was last year. When we won that Saints game, it was like, okay. And then Jamar was out. He had his hip problem. So it'll be nice if we can get this win, play the Bills, play them tough, get an AFC win, and then just start running that line. I forget who we play after that, but then we have the Ravens. Who do we play 3 weeks from now? We got the 49ers, the Bills, somebody, and then Buffalo.
Oh, no, I'll tell you. By the way, I will be at the Buffalo game on that Sunday evening. So look to see everyone there. So we've got Niners, Bills, Texans, Ravens, Steelers.
Yep. Yeah. So it's a brutal stretch, but in this brutal stretch, dude, our season could be flipped real quick.
Yeah.
I agree. We could really turn this around, and we could turn around fast. Or
it's gonna go one way or the other. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, that's awesome. You'd be at the Bills game. Wish I could be there. I was looking at my schedule. I got work. When you told me you got tickets, I was like, all right, like I gotta get these. And then I was like, dang, like I'm sandwiched between two days. So I was like, no,
it's all good, man. I'll be out there showing up, showing out. I'll be in the orange section. I believe the stadium's gonna be striped. I'll be in the orange portion. So
there we go. That'd be awesome. Well, have fun, man. Enjoy your time. Make sure if you can get down to the tailgate, say hi to all the boys.
Oh, absolutely.
Aaron and his pops and the crew's going to be down there, and the Bengals and Brew guys, and we got a lot of people down lot 1. Swing by, represent for us, say what's up. Hopefully we get a home playoff game, and we can make it back there again. It might be.
Man, I'm hoping and praying for that. I can't wait. Hopefully we'll get that, man. So.
Yeah. If we get there, I definitely will not pull 24 hours and be out in the cold, just hoping we get a win and ready to get out of there and go to sleep.
I'm gonna sleep good and hope it's not a 7:30 kickoff. That's what's up.
Yeah. All right, man. We'll close her down. It was a good show.
Yeah, man.
I think we'll have a show on Saturday. I'm gonna try to get one. I know Dale from Bengals and Brews said he'd hop on with me Saturday. Might try to get a couple other people, see if they can. I know you and Chris won't be able to, but if you guys can make an appearance, it'll be before the Ohio State game. If not, it's all good.
All right, man. Good talking with you tonight.
Yeah, it was nice to be back, dude. I feel like it's been forever since I've hopped on here, but schedule and everything's been crazy. We'll get better with it. It's all for fun, and the Bengals, either way, win, lose, or draw, we're here for them. Might be irritated, might be aggravated, but we all bleed orange and black, so we'll be there. Who Day, you got any closing thoughts?
Nah, man. Looking forward to it, man. Who Day.
All right. See you guys. Thanks for joining us.